Hi, my name is Michael Poley, and I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My friends are obsessed and always make jokes and references to it, and so now, 20 years later, I've been convinced to watch the show from beginning to end, one episode a week. I'm a Buffy virgin.
Hey everyone, welcome to Season 3, Episode 9, The Wish, episode of Buffy Virgin. I'm going to be your host this evening, Dennis St. John. With us, as always, is the Virgin, Michael Poley.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. I'm sorry for the slightly echoey audio. I've moved to a different recording area. I will fix this as soon as I can. But
why are you recording in a cave, Mike?
I just had to move my office around to satisfy everyone in the house.
It happens. And we also have John, who just asked the question.
Hi, I'm John. Sorry.
And Travis.
Hello.
The Doctor. And we also have a special guest today, Paige Braddock, who is a extraordinary cartoonist. We did an interview with her, and we're going to air that about mid-episode. She wanted to join us for the full episode, but she had to travel. So let's get started, as we always do, with the summary. After the hormonal horrors of Lover's Walk, the Scooby Gang is reduced down to the Season 1 core cast of Buffy, Xander, and Willow. But the gang that slays together stays together. Cordelia, on the other hand, is having a harder time. Despite buying a new car to match her red pleather dress, the first day back in school is rough. Harmony is causing harm, bullying both her and Jonathan. Jocks are being gross together, but she's keeping it all stitched together, with the help of her new friend Anya. Anya seems nice, very fashionable, but mostly bored, unless Cordelia is talking about Xander for some reason. Anya is always trying to prompt Cordy to make a wish. She must think Cordy's a charity case. Oh boy, when Cordelia does make that wish, the shit hits the fan. The wish that Buffy Summers never came to Sunnydale seems swell at first. Sure, there's a lot less students, and the hallways are filled with cloves of garlic and crosses for some reason, but Cordelia is Queen C again, so it's all good. Except it's not. Without Buffy, Xander and Willow have gone full-blown S&M vamps. In fact, the entire town is like something out of a Vincent Price movie. Cordelia is saved by Giles and the rest of his new gang of high school heroes, Oz, Larry, and a new girl. Oh yeah, then Cordelia gets unsaved, eaten by Xander and Willow, both kinky and sad. Turns out, without Buffy, there to stop the harvest back in Season 1, the Master arose, and now he not only owns this town, but he's starting a factory, a human factory. Giles, still being a watcher at heart, puts enough of this together to call Buffy into town from the Mistake by the Lake, Cleveland. This isn't the Buffy we all know and love. Just look at her. She has a scar. She doesn't play well with others, and is off to do some damage at the Bronze. Everything comes to a head as Tony Head calls the demon form of Anya to undo the new world, while Buffy and a pathetic angel confront the Master and his goons at the factory. In the end, everyone fights, and everyone we all know dies. Friends take friends, broken hearts go poof, and a neck gets snapped. But don't worry, Giles finds the factory reset button, and this whole episode never happened. The end. All right, now we are going to move on to Great Lines. Mike, I think you got the first bit up here.
Man, I just love this Oz breakup. I felt like it was instructional, like how to break up with somebody or when you've been broken up with. I'm sorry you're having a hard time with this, but I told you what I need. So I can't help you feeling like the reason you want to talk is so that you can feel better about yourself. And that's not my problem. Boom!
That was
so good.
I was like, man, no high schooler has ever been like that aware of their own feelings and of the situation that's going on.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's because he's a fifth year. He's in
Yeah. 18-year-old Oz has way more emotional maturity than 35-year-old me.
Totally.
That's a lot of self-awareness.
What a guy. What a guy that Oz.
Dude, when you start working at rallies at like 16, you start learning life lessons.
I feel like if this was the first episode of Buffy I'd seen, I would be blown away by the depth of some of these characters.
This would be such an insane episode. There'd be no way of following what was going on.
Are you saying this is what people should start watching Buffy on? Because
This should be our first episode, the one in the inverted world.
No shit, that would be awesome, man. I love this
Then
episode.
you got another one, Mike?
Oh, this is actually a stupid throwaway line that I was bothered by. So when Xander's in the bronze, he passes a guy on a pool table after touching someone on the pool table, like a man, and then he says, "Slap my hand, good soul, man." And like, this is a Xander vampire trying to be cool, and he's not cool even as a vampire.
That's the weird thing is that he's supposed to be, right? But maybe it's like how much we know about Xander or something. But yeah.
I think like Willow's so Dark Willow, Evil Willow is so good, and like Xander Vampire is like struggling to be as cool as she is.
Oh, totally.
Like he's not as cool. Anyway,
That relationship isn't gonna last. All right, I have the next couple. I really like this exchange when Giles gets locked in a cage. You're in a big cage. Not too smart, book guy. Like good ones.
Well, I mean, it is important to call out the ridiculousness of the book cage again.
Yeah. And then the character Nancy, who is new to the series but is part of the White Hats, when talking about poor dead Cordelia, is like, everybody knows vampires are attracted to bright colors. Apparently,
that true?
That's a new vampire rule that had not been established, but it is.
Do you think that's true in the mainstream universe? Like, or do you think that's just like an urban legend?
I think it's an urban legend in the dark universe, but
yeah.
She is the only one in the high school. She's the only one wearing bright colors. Everybody else is dressed in like
green and brown,
like military grades.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, you got the next one.
Buffy and Giles are talking, and Giles is saying a bunch of facts, and Buffy's like, "Okay, Jeeves," and he goes, "It's Giles." She's like, "Okay." It's like a great Jeeves joke, which is just crazy.
And then John, you want to end us off?
Bored now.
That's what the listeners say.
Classic. Yes, that is what the listeners say to us. Yes.
All right, let's move on to weird noticings and trivia. I have the first one where I say that Cthulhu-looking demon in the beginning is amazing. And it is, and it's one of those things.
And it's barely in there. He's barely in there. It's like 3 shots.
They did a lot of work on this great-looking monster that is not the monster of the episode. It's just this like one throwaway monster, and it's like it looks a lot better than some of the like full episode monsters.
Oh, definitely. This is season 3's Moloch the Corruptor,
Yeah.
like without a doubt.
Like I just wonder if what's his name, John Volich is the effects guy, right? If he just was like working really hard on that one that he didn't have a script for it. He was just like, I got this awesome idea, and then like, all right, we'll use it for this, and he's like, God damn.
Maybe it's something they made for like a pilot that never got finished, or like maybe there's some reason they had it like in the monster closet.
Yeah,
that'd be a good follow-up, because I bet there's like, monster guys know monster guys, and I'm sure it's like they're hanging out and they're like in each other's effects warehouses, like, hey, what about that thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that John Volich built this one because he's like the head effects guy, and this one is just so good. But yeah, I'd like to know why it.
Are you saying John Volich knows a guy who knows a monster who knows a monster guy? A monster designer.
He knows a beast who knows a guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Besides monsters.
John, you say Xander's still the worst.
I mean, this barely is worth even saying. It's barely worth bringing up. But Xander is calling his ex 70 times. I mean, that might be like hyperbole to some extent, but we know he left at least like 4 messages because we hear them.
Yeah.
I feel like that is not acceptable post-breakup behavior.
Yeah, no, I feel like this whole episode in the regular verse, he's pretty awful with his like, I'm not going to feel guilty about this, and I'm going to keep touching Willow.
Yeah. No, he's a creep. I mean, we know Xander's a creep. It's not front page news. We can really move on. We don't have to say much, but like, I just want to, rubber stamp Xander's a creep again on this episode.
Well, how many times is it appropriate to call after you've been broken up with, right?
I mean, I think, she said stay away from me.
Yeah.
She said stay away from me.
Yeah.
And I feel like he, like, the thing is, he's like, okay, so you said stay away from me.
That really long stay part.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so she's in her hospital. She's emotional. She's upset. I can understand leaving one message and then leave it at that. I feel like that's what's acceptable.
Just doing the thing of not accepting the breakup, right? Like not.
Yeah, exactly.
Not.
I mean, to be fair, I did this in high school when I was dumped in high school on Instant Messenger. I like wouldn't let it go, and like did a little bit of annoying that person, I think, but it was mostly on Instant Messenger, and I don't think it was the same. I don't think it was that quite that bad.
Did you know AOL Instant Messenger no longer exists?
I did. I said as of like just now, there is no more Instant Messenger.
Who knew?
Yeah,
it's a bummer. Actually, I have my friend from college. Her claim to fame was that on AOL Instant Messenger, she was the poet.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's an excellent.
That's
claim
coming
to fame.
in early to AOL.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Able to be the poet. All right, Mike, you got the next.
Yeah, so same scene, when Xander is leaving all the messages, there's this great bit where Cordelia's cutting up photos, burning them, and not returning messages, and just feels like the delete Facebook, lawyer up, hit the gym of its time. This whole episode, and I love that because like that felt so anachronistic, but it was.
It's also, I didn't realize it until later on, but that's like how she called Anya, right? Is like, this is like the accidental spell of burning photos, right?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. That's how you're reading it too? Is that what happened?
I think so. Yeah, because it's so similar to how Giles purposely calls her, right?
Right, okay.
But it's like, this is how you accidentally get an Anya.
Well, how did Giles
that's what I do.
What's Giles' ritual?
He like burns some sage and is like, on behalf of all scorned women, I call ye. All right. I have the next one. I say Amy gets name dropped by Willow. We haven't seen her in a while. Just thought it'd be worth mentioning that Amy the Witch gets brought up. And this is from our Twitter, according to @RenInOz, who's Renee Monroe Pope, I think. Cordelia's injury is based on a real-life injury that Charisma Carpenter had in childhood.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Didn't Travis say that injury is like definitely fatal in our last podcast?
Yeah.
It's not the exact same injury. She has a scar from a childhood injury, but for her as a child, I don't think she had a rebarb through her abdomen. But I don't know. But she did have an accident, and someone, Silver Spike, who left a comment on the YouTube video, also brought that up too. So
okay, so this is apparently common knowledge for Buffy fans. That
not to me. That's
we need to get that issue of Playboy that Charisma Carpenter's in to investigate further.
I don't have that issue anymore, but I used to.
I'm only interested in it for the scars.
For medical reasons.
I'm 100% sure that they airbrushed the scars out. That's how they would do that.
That doesn't sound like an adult men's magazine. They don't airbrush.
I also say Anya's quote-unquote dad, body utility? Is he playing Monopoly? What's he going to buy next? The railroad?
I am positive that Sunnydale has a railroad because Sunnydale has one of everything.
Yeah, they definitely have a railroad. How do you
have one cinema, one Starbucks, one bronze, one utility,
one bronze,
one museum, one zoo, one.
There'd be a really fun Monopoly version of Buffy where there's like 20 cemeteries, and I'm not sure what the most common property. 14. I don't remember what the most common property is on regular Monopoly, but you could just replace it with a cemetery.
Oh, just all of the regular like houses, right? Yeah. All of those little.
Also, like it's all alleys to get places, so like you roll, but then you can't just
Monopoly Buffy.
I'm sure there is a Buffy Monopoly, right?
Well, Monopoly is in the public domain, so you can make your own Buffy Monopoly if you want. Yes, it is.
So cool.
Buffy is not in public domain though, so that might be harder.
John, you express the feelings we all feel.
Yeah, poor Jonathan.
I know. That's awful. It's not only like mean to Cordelia, but it's
way meaner to Jonathan.
Fuck you, Harmony.
But also, like, I feel like having a moped is not uncool. I think having a moped's pretty cool.
John, you would say.
I mean, just like also he's drinking that really big gulp.
Drinking a big gulp is uncool.
But he's he's feels awkward, but it's just like he's bullied so much. This doesn't even really upset him. It's just like
Yeah, it doesn't make him sweat.
Jonathan is the king of the like silent reaction shot in this show. Like,
Jonathan's so amazing. Someday we have to talk about the real life actor, Jonathan.
I think
we've
Well,
done this.
We talk about his latest work. Anyways, I'm just sad we didn't see.
You want to do like a behind the music? Is that?
I just want to talk about Gilmore Girls. That's what's going on.
This show loves to cut to Jonathan as a joke, though, and this is a funny. But they play it so sad and pathetic. Like it could be funny, and then they have this sad fucking music come in when they cut to Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'm just sad we didn't get to see an alternate reality Jonathan.
Oh, seriously?
He definitely died.
You don't think Jonathan wasn't even cool enough to turn into a vampire? He just got eaten.
Yeah.
See, my hope was that woman who was with the white hats was Teresa, that chick who gets murdered by Angel, but I guess it wasn't.
It's Nancy.
It's Nancy. They call her Nancy. I was like, man, I hope this is Teresa, but it's not.
No, I like that Nancy just is not. I looked into this. There is no Nancy in the regular universe, so she's only in the alternate universe as far as we know.
For Nancy.
Yeah, I like that group. I like what who would have thought these are the people who come together.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Like John, you say Cordelia's makeout illusion.
Oh,
yeah. So Cordelia does this amazing thing where she wants to make Xander jealous, so she pretends to make out with this guy John Lee by saying, "Oh, is there something in my teeth?" And by looking at her, it kind of looks like they're making out, but only from one very specific angle. It's exactly like some David Blaine close-up magic shit. It's like this would look amazing if I really coordinate it, that you're standing at this exact spot and I'm standing just here. It'll look like we're making out just barely. Yeah, no, that's some real David Blaine level shit.
She is a genius, except for her ability to pick up on why an alternate universe would be bad. Also, John Lee is 30.
A super taster.
And John just made a TMBG reference to everybody in the audience who's not a TMBG fan. Mike, you say.
Oh, yeah. So before it's revealed that Anya is the weird wish monster, there's this vibe that she maybe wants to hook up with Cordelia, just the way that thing is set up. And so it just felt like maybe that was what was going to happen. She wanted to be her girlfriend because she wants her to talk. Anya wants Cordelia to talk bad about all the guys. Oh yeah, tell me more.
Yeah,
that's
I haven't checked, but I guarantee that's a thing.
Yeah,
in the fan fiction community, I guarantee there's Anya/Cordelia. I have no problem.
But of course, the show's going a different direction than that. But watching it, I was like, oh, maybe this is what will happen. But it went not happen.
I feel like I've watched this episode so many times that didn't occur to me. But I do notice is as soon as Cordelia stops talking about Xander, how bored Anya is for the rest of the scenes. She's just can we just get to the wishing part?
It's funny on repeat watchings of this, watching her really try hard to trap her into the wish in scenes when you're not yet supposed to know that that's what's happening.
Yeah,
that's well done.
John, you got the next one about El Convertitablo.
Yeah, this is super shitty thing for her to say because we've got Sunnydale, which is in Southern California, yet is all white somehow. She talks to who I assume is an ethnically Hispanic guy who's the custodian at the school. And when he doesn't seem to know what she's talking about, her immediate thing is to revert to some kind of shitty Spanglish and be like, El Convertablo. I didn't get that joke the first 4 times that I watched the episode. And then I watched it, I was like, oh, she's being racist. That makes me because I'm really on Cordelia's side for this entire episode, except for that moment. And I'm like, wow, fuck you, Cordelia. God.
Yeah, wow, I didn't catch that.
Not the most woke person, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
Not good. Yeah.
So by this time we are in the dark universe or whatever we want to call it. So the immediate little details of the switch that I liked were the hallways are empty. I mentioned this on my summary. The hallways are empty. There's all this garlic and crosses on the walls. And when John Lee asks her out, he asks her to the winter brunch.
That's great. The brunch is great. Yeah.
Because you can't go out at night. Can't be dances. You got to have brunches.
I mean, I think high school would have been way better if we had brunches instead of dances. That would have been awesome.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That and it's worth it as far as I'm concerned.
I also like just like what it takes to like wreck the normal of Sunnydale. That they're like, we're still gonna have school. We're still gonna have like winter formals. Like even though like the master has arose and like the town's been destroyed, like like we're still Sunnydale. We're Sunnydale strong. We keep going.
Yeah, they haven't relocated the school or the kids. They're still going to hang out.
They've made some rules, like no cars, which appear to be as dangerous as having cars.
Yeah, I didn't understand why the no cars rule, but I was thinking about that. Like, if everything was more dangerous and you need to get home before sundown, surely that's more of a reason to have a car. Why no cars?
I bet the busing system is just a lot more strict, and Cordelia just didn't pick up on that.
Okay.
But they wouldn't trust the kids to like not stay out late with their cars, right?
I guess so.
It is lovely that Cordelia doesn't like how she finds out the rules of the new world. Like everyone's shocked by her actions. I mean, it's kind of amazing. I love that there's monthly memorial services are like mentioned in their first class, and she's like, "Go to the bronze." Everyone's like, "What? No."
I also like she knows she's in an alternate world, and she's not bothered by it at all. She's just like,
huh.
All right, this is great. This is what I wished for because I'm the boss now. Like,
the problem is though, regular Sunnydale High School needs monthly memorial services. Like, it's not that different. This is my problem. This is my problem with this whole episode. I'll get into it later.
Let me say my problem is that sure they're living in a town overrun by vampires, but they're not. There's no homeschooling, which would defeat all the vampire attacks. And they're still hanging out in the library.
Yep, totally. Why are you? I thought that too. Why are you still hanging out in the library after dark? God damn it!
None of this makes any sense.
Just go home. Your home is a magical fortress. Like, just go home.
Yeah. Home is, it's crazy.
There's quite a few broken things. I can't wait till we talk about all the broken things.
Yeah.
So Cordelia walks around and she meets Dark Xander and Dark Willow, the kinky weirdos we always knew they were. And in their vamp form, they're the Spike and Drew of Dark Sunnydale.
Oh, nice.
Totally. Except, like, Spike and Drew are both cool, but, like, Vamp Xander and Vamp Willow, only one of them's cool. And then they've got a clear hanger-on.
Yeah.
Vamp Xander's pretty cool.
I feel like it's really hard to, like, get over the hang-ups of it being Xander, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, physically, because physically Nick Brendan at this time is like in shape and stuff.
Right.
Like he could play this part. It's just not working. But
yeah, they didn't give him as much things to do as they did for Willow. I feel like is part of the problem.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough direction for this dark version of his character because it's still Xander. It's just an evil Xander.
Yeah, and he's mostly into Willow, and Willow's just mostly into fucking shit up and being a weirdo.
Yeah.
And torturing Angel and shit.
Wow, we are getting like a rated R podcast this episode. Just all this language.
Xander just needs more business. I agree. He needs he's not as interested in torturing Angel. He's just not as interested in eating people. Like all that falls to Willow, which is great. It's a great inversion of her character. But yeah, you're right. He needs more business.
Yeah, and even some of his best lines are responding to Willow, where she's like, I love that part. And he's like, you love all the parts.
Yeah, that line doesn't make a ton of sense.
I think it's that she not only drinks people, but she eats them.
Well, right. No, that part works. But like the other side of the pun doesn't work because the whole conversation is she doesn't like all the parts. She's bored with some of the parts. Like it's a one-sided pun. It bothers me.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Pun police.
Not everything has to be perfect. Speaking of not perfect, Mike.
Oh, yeah. The White Hats is a pretty lame gang name. Can we talk about the White Hats for a second?
It's not clear they call themselves that. Only Xander calls them that.
Okay.
And I think it's like a Western reference, right? So it's weird Vamp Xander watches Westerns.
Right.
So like the good guy wears the white hat. But yeah, I just think that the crew is interesting. I like Larry and Oz. Like it's cool to see Larry do more stuff.
Do you think I have a question? Do you think that Larry is out of the closet in the alternate universe, and do you think that Oz is still a werewolf in the alternate universe?
I think Larry's out of the closet because I think he's faced so much life and death stuff right now.
Right.
That shit doesn't matter at all.
I like that. I like that.
The idea that there's like, oh, I gotta hide it to not be embarrassed for the football team or something won't matter to him. I don't think Oz is a werewolf. I think that's a good point.
What are the rules to the alternate universe?
I mean,
Buffy never came to town.
Buffy never came to town, which has sort of like a butterfly effect situation, right? I mean, there's like unpredictable consequences of that may not, like, it's possible that Oz just didn't get bitten by his cousin because because
the vampire harvest happened season 1. He doesn't become a werewolf until season 2. So like he's probably just not visiting his family as much.
Entirely possible.
His family's entirely dead.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, maybe that's why he's a white hat, is because he has like werewolf powers, like, you know, at least one night out of the month or whatever it is, three nights out of the month.
I thought he was a white hat because he had a van.
Also because he's a solid good guy. We just like, Oz is a good guy.
Yeah, no, I that's what I thought, that he would end up on the good side of things.
Yeah, which is interesting, you know, who like Oz, given without Buffy, still ends up a good guy. Without Buffy, Willow and Xander end up evil.
Yeah. Well, I guess without Buffy, Willow and Xander die, and then, you know, probably.
Yeah. But the real puzzle of like, why is Giles still in Sunnydale? It's like in this Wish universe, everything was set up for Buffy to come to Sunnydale, but then she moved to Cleveland instead.
Right.
Because like Angel and Giles should have both been in Cleveland also, right? If they were like, but also we don't know how the Watchers Council works. Apparently they just like drop Watchers in random locations and they're like, maybe the Slayer is coming to your town.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
I guess I can bring it up because I'm like, where's Darla? And so Darla was missing from this episode.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up in questions.
Okay. All right, never mind.
I actually have a theory about it.
Well, yeah. Oh, there's so many weird questions. Like, how does Angel know about Buffy? How did they interact if she never came to Sunnydale?
Because I think all the Whistler shit still happened.
Yeah.
Oh, he still stalked her? Because she went.
Yes.
But because that was when she went to a different school when he was stalking her?
It was pre-Wish.
Yeah.
But they had no engagement. How would she know who the fuck he is?
Well, exactly. She doesn't.
She doesn't.
He knows who she is because all the Whistler stuff happened, but it just didn't. They didn't quite connect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Angel looked like he couldn't go one round with the fruit fly this episode.
Oh man, so good.
So I say Cordelia being the meat in a Xander Willow murder sandwich has got to be the worst way for her to die. Just given this whole episode is about her hating Xander and like especially hating the Xander Willow hookup, that she dies like in this kinky sandwich with him. Stuff. It looks like we've lost John.
He'll be back. There's something with his video.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's such a sad way for her to die. Also, this was the most shocking thing watching this show because how can you die in your alternate universe? It felt like, oh no, this is just the universe now. Like, I know the show is going to find a way to reverse it, but it felt like everything got exponentially more complicated.
Yeah,
with how it could be reversed.
Yeah,
it's like Marty McFly dies in Act 2, and then everybody else figures out how to like save his parents without him, or like make them kiss without him being around. I don't know. Like,
that's great. It's great because she's supposed to be the POV character if it's like following her universe, and then to just murder her.
That's a great move. It's surprising.
Everybody else who dies this episode is the alternate versions of their character. Cordelia is just herself.
So she experienced death in an alternate universe. So who is she in the real universe now? Like, I don't understand how that works.
Because it flashes back to the moment she makes the wish, and that's where the divergence happens. So,
my thought is maybe that the divergence, you go from a straight line to two lines, and that you can die in this alternate timeline. You can just flip. But if you go back to the branch point, and
exactly
alive,
exactly, precisely.
Presumably, and then this branch dies when the wish is reversed, so that doesn't continue the alternate timeline.
Right.
So no one is aware of the alternate timeline. It just, that's where we are now. Just
That's what's
Exactly.
frustrating. I wish
Yeah.
they were aware. That's what's frustrating about this episode is that no one remembers it.
okay.
Except
No, I don't need to make a prediction about it. No one will remember this.
So the
maybe. I didn't even remember it.
the cool thing for me about like the master being back is like we get to he's the master, but he's not the master who's like trapped in the cage, just giving or trapped in the church, just like monologuing. He gets to actually interact and shit. And we get to see like what a weirdo vampire he is. Like him drinking blood from an espresso machine is such a weird like. This is a vampire who's so done with like hunting people and everything, and he's just like.
It's more of a beer tap than an espresso machine. I have this like great thought about like hipster vampires filling up growlers. Like,
No, not in the factory.
not in the factory.
When before
Oh,
the
it's
factory,
a little cup. That's right. He's
Yeah.
got the little. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
I think that's him. Like maybe we'll make the factory into like a barista type situation. And he's like, this is really just a me thing. Let's see. So Mike, you've already asked that question. You ask why are the vampires torturing Angel?
Yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense why Angel is in a cage, except that we want to see where all the characters are up to in the alternate universe. Like, I don't get why.
Because
they
a
have
vampire with a soul is a weird thing for them, and it's a weird kinky thing for them because, like, it's another vampire, but he has a soul, so he's like cares when things happen.
Yeah,
So that's a fun person to torture.
I'll get into my theory now because it is. So I asked why has the master arisen but the Hellmouth hasn't opened?
Right.
And why are Darla and Lucas not around? So
Those are good questions. Yeah.
I think what happens is that the night of the harvest back in season 1, Angel realizing Buffy's not around, does his best to defeat Lucas, manages to kill Lucas and Darla before the Hellmouth arises, but not before Lucas has drank enough blood to free the master. So that's why he's called a traitor. He's then captured by the rest of the vampires because he's not strong enough.
Right.
And that's why he's in the cage. And
That
that's
makes
why we're in
sense.
this situation now.
I buy all of that.
That's my canon.
That makes that That's an excellent explanation. I like it.
All right. Let's see. We already answered this other question. I just said just to talk about the kinky Willow torturing Angel. That's their weirdest dynamic yet. Willow and Angel always have a weird dynamic, whether it's like evil Angel or Angel having Willow like stalk a boyfriend or whatever. Like they always have a weird time together.
Willow has a weird time with everybody. Anybody she interacts with is a weird time.
Yeah, really. And this is something I brought up on the show a few times, but every time I rewatch the show, it's like, this is a surprisingly kinky show for like a high school show. The sheer amount of like S&M torture that goes into it. I don't know. They really are into that burning of Angel's skin.
Yeah, the throwing lit matches thing is hardcore.
Yeah. Let's see. John, you say, how is Anyanka planning to get her amulet back?
So I'm trying to understand how the wish works, right? So she's clearly, if you go back and watch it, she's clearly trying to get Cordelia to make a wish before Cordelia is wearing the amulet. So it's not 100% clear that she has to wear it when she makes the wish.
I don't think she does.
But why does she? Why on earth then would you give the powerful thing to her? Then that doesn't make any sense. So I think she does have to wear it because there's no other reason to give it to her. So she has to be wearing it when she makes the wish. And I think it's more like, I'm going to get you to make the wish so that you're in that frame of mind, and then I'll give it to you and you make the wish again or something. And so she makes the wish with it on, but then she has to get it back at some point so she can repeat the cycle. Otherwise, there's no point.
Well, I also think Anya didn't expect it to be like an alternate dimension.
Well, that's fair enough.
Right.
Like if she had wished, as she really should have, that Xander will never know the touch of a woman, right? She would have to get it back, right? That kind of makes sense, I guess. But like, she has to have been planning to get it back at some point, right?
Yeah. or it could be once the spell is fully completed or something, it disappears from her neck and like goes back to Anya in whatever dimension Anya.
Right, but if she dies before it's completed, is that where things went off the rails for her?
Yeah, or just Giles fucked it up. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good question. It's almost like this show doesn't really care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what is Anya's motivation, right?
She's a
yes,
wish
that's a
demon.
broader
Yeah.
question.
She's
Her motivation appears to be That appears to be her motivation, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Mischief managed.
But why does this? Why? I mean, this is a fun episode, but why does this episode have to? I mean, why is it happening now?
Well, because we have reasons to hate Xander. I mean, I guess that could be any time, but we have a specific reason for someone to hate Xander.
I don't know. This feels like a '90s TV thing where it's like we have to make a ton of shows. This is another one of the 26 shows.
Well, you got to
make.
do an
That's
alternate
true.
universe show. This is a mirror episode. It's a definitely a trope.
But it is one of those things though where nowadays if a show is 9 episodes long, you're not going to get to this kind of episode. Right. And that's kind of the hit and miss thing of like episodic television versus like
right.
completely story driven, like move the plot constantly television. And I mean, this is the advantage of it, is having an episode like this.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't have like, the OA episode where they go to another dimension, right?
Oh my God, I would watch the shit out of that. What would the alternate universe be? I can't.
Everybody dies all the time except them.
What the hell? What's OA?
It's a Netflix show that Mike's really into, and so I started watching, and I enjoy.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Called
really good.
OA? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch at least the first episode. Get to the second episode.
It's all about the Order of the Arrow, the Brotherhood of Honor Scouts.
Yes.
No, it's not about that.
Mike, you say Buffy has a cool slash on her face. Where'd she get it? I think this is this is something we'll learn about Joss later on, is that he really likes to like add a scar to a character to let us know, oh, they've been through something, right?
This is also, it's Spock's beard. It's just like, it's a different universe. Like,
I mean, it's an easy way to pass the time. I mean, I'm into it.
It just identifies her immediately as that she's a different Buffy, so that when she says funny things or when she talks differently, you have a visual like reference. But it makes sense when you hear her be weird. She's been through shit.
Yeah. Cleveland treated her rough.
Yep. Yeah, Cleveland does not mess around.
Would you guys survive in Cleveland?
I've lived in Pittsburgh, which is like Cleveland.
Only visited. Seems like a tough spot.
I'd do okay.
Sorry, I'm asking another question for the group, so that was my distraction there. I say Cordelia and Alt Buffy both call Anya a fairy, which is weird. They both came to that conclusion for how to describe her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. John, you say there is a grandfather paradox here.
Because when they destroy the amulet, it is destroyed in the past. So, because when they cut back to Cordelia making the wish again, she's not wearing the amulet, which suggests that the amulet is destroyed in the past, which means that she couldn't have made the wish that would have led to the amulet being destroyed. Hence, it's a grandfather paradox.
They should have hired you as a consultant on this show, John. They really messed up.
And that's the entire rest of the Buffy's show, is just them being stuck in this terrible time loop trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's like that Star Trek: The Next Generation episode where they have to like send a message to the next loop in Data's positronic brain.
Yes. Oh man, have you watched all of Discovery?
I have.
Speaking of time loop episodes.
Yeah, I was like, I know this one.
When I host, there's a lot less Star Trek conversation.
You actually brought up Star Trek last episode, Mike. Which
maybe I did.
It's a good thing I wasn't there.
Mike, you say the factory is pretty inefficient?
Yep, the factory, like, there's a lot of hype about the factory. Like, oh, the factory's coming. Things going to change when the factory, like... And then we see the factory, and it's very scary looking, and the woman gets loaded into it after getting cattle prodded. And so it's like a meat factory is the thought. And then it's just this bar tap to get blood out of somebody, like for one person to drink.
I assume that there's more, that was just
one of many taps.
That they're filling into a keg of some sort.
But he does make a statement about freshness, which means that you have to be there.
And
like
also,
you have to physically be at the
I was
factory.
also thinking, you still have to hunt the humans to begin with, right? They haven't created a whole factory farming system with them
Yes, I'd assumed they were going to create a way to like manufacture humans in some way and like breed them and
oh
use them
no,
for
the
food.
long-term plan is to breed the people in the cage. That's horrifying.
Isn't that what happens in that movie? What was that Ethan Hawke vampire movie with Sam?
Oh, Daybreakers. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but they don't really breed them, which is why it doesn't work in that movie. They just sort of have them like
that movie. I very vaguely remember it, so I don't know if I.
That's really good. I really like that movie.
That'll be on the list then.
Yeah,
but the factory plan, right? Like they load a human in one at a time. They drink their blood one at a time.
Yeah, it's
like,
not exactly the mass production he's talking about.
Okay, so if it's a bar and the bronze is a bar, and it's just like, oh, this is humans like tapping a keg. We'll drink the blood until it's gone, and then we'll load another human in from these cages. So it's not so much a factory; it's like a bar with a keg, and they have a keg system they figured out.
They're working on it. Listen, it's an alpha. It's
not the way they're talking about it. They're like, this is the future.
I also think this really reveals like there is something to me like vampires for some reason are dumber than humans, right? And when the masters humans with their plebeian minds have invented mass production, and it's like I've barely got a handle over this mass production.
Like when they hire Ethan Rayne to manufacture chocolate, they are making so much chocolate, boxes and boxes. When the master is in charge of a factory, he's consuming one human at a time. This is not a factory. He's made a kegerator, human kegerator.
Yeah, I also wonder if this must be just the most well lit we've ever seen the factory. If this is the same location as the factory that they've talked about before.
Oh, I got the impression maybe it was the bronze because like everybody's upset that she mentions the bronze earlier, and they said that the master is in a club, an old club.
Master lives in the bronze and everything.
Oh, he lives in the bronze, but this is
remember,
in the factory.
Buffy goes to the bronze to kill everyone. Nobody's there except for Angel in his angel cage.
Oh, that's right. Okay, all right. So this is a separate location. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's a problem this show has where they have a lot of interiors, but don't show a lot of exterior shots of places.
Yeah.
We've never seen what the factory looks like.
I mean, it's not a real problem. It's only a problem if you, like, analyze it too much, because it doesn't get in the way of the story at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a problem to me as a cartoonist who hates drawing establishing shots, but knows it's important to not confuse the audience.
Yeah, John, you thought the factory was in the bronze.
I did, but it didn't matter.
I often am confused about the castle cave place where Angel lives.
Again, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't really matter if he's in a cave or a castle.
I say it does from a storytelling, telling clear stories. You need to know where things are.
God, I wish, Dennis, you had time to draw exterior locations for these places in Buffy for Michael. So that he'd like remember.
That would be it'd be like the factory, and it just pops up on screen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, Mike, you say you got the final line in Weird Noticings trivia.
Oh, sure. So many major characters get killed at the end. Xander gets killed. Willow gets killed by Oz, which is sad. Angel gets hit by an arrow. Buffy gets her neck snapped. I mean, you talk about all this stuff in the summary, but like, it's within like a 1 minute, 1.5 minute span of time, all these characters get killed off. And like, it's really intense because as a viewer, I'm like, I know something bad's going to happen. And then you're just like, cool, this alternate timeline is getting wiped for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's still brutal to see like Oz stake Willow and like, does Buffy stake Xander or I don't know, but
yeah, he gets staked. No, it is brutal and sad to see, but it's crazy, like it's a lot of very emotional murders taking place very quickly. And Anyway, it's a great scene. It's, I wish every action scene had as much going on in it, where so many major forces were at play.
Oh yeah, this was a crazy chaotic scene for me to do the kill count, because I decided to count like every time a vampire is eating a human in the background. So I did,
good luck.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was like, there's just so much going on. So that's the end of Weird Noticings trivia. Before we move on to questions for the group, we're going to play an interview with cartoonist Paige Braddock that I did this week.
Hi, Paige. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
So, first question. When did you get into Buffy?
Oh, man. I think I was a Buffy fan from day one when the show started.
Really?
Partly because I love vampires, but I especially love humorous vampires. Yeah, vampires with a sense of humor.
Yeah. Cool. So you're an OG Buffy fan.
What does that mean? What's OG?
Original gangster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Totally. All right. What are your favorite lines from this episode?
Well, my absolute favorite line from this episode is that it's sort of, I mean, there's a bunch of really good ones, but at the end, when poor Angel has been finally released from his puppy cage, and they're about to storm the big factory, and he goes, "What's your plan?" And Buffy says, "Don't fall on this." And she holds a wooden stake up to him. That's great.
That's a good line. Alt Buffy is pretty mean.
Yeah, what's with the scar across her lip? I wanted to know how that happened.
I don't know. I also think like that's like a Joss Whedon thing of like, we want to show this character's been through a lot. Give him a scar, right?
Could be it.
How long do you think you could survive in the dark timeline?
About 4 minutes.
Would you be a vampire, Chow?
I think so. I really like plaid, and I'm thinking bright colors would get me killed.
That's right. This episode brings up an entirely new vampire rule that they're
Right.
attracted to bright colors.
Who knew that? Shiny things and bright colors.
Do you think you'd get turned?
No, probably not.
Just be feed. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's your favorite dark timeline character?
Oh, definitely Evil Willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best.
What interests you about Dark Willow?
Well, that mystery will be revealed later in the series. But for now, I'll just say I was just mesmerized by how great the actress was. I mean, she totally transforms into this evil character. And Willow is so sweet. She's like one of my favorite sweet characters and one of my favorite evil characters.
Yeah. Here's something I wonder is like, Sweet Willow, Good Willow is like smart. I don't see any real cleverness come from Dark Willow.
Really?
I don't know. Do you?
Actually, no. Now that you mention it, no, I don't.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
maybe there's a trade-off, like with intelligence and like moral integrity. I don't know. Maybe there's some like equilibrium thing that.
Yeah, maybe she's gets rid of her inhibitions, and her inhibitions actually are part of why she thinks so much. So she's free from thought.
Oh, maybe so.
I don't know. It's a theory.
She's definitely not socially awkward.
No, she's very confident.
She's very confident in her leather outfit.
Yes. All right. If you were friends with Anya, what would you wish for, and how would it turn against you?
Well, I certainly would not wish that someone hadn't been born, because there's no way to anticipate all the ways that would manifest itself. Like, it would just be this ripple through everything, right? And so that's why they get so screwed in this episode, right? So I don't know what I would wish for, but I definitely wouldn't wish for that.
All right. Have you learned one
might-
lesson from this episode?
I might wish to win the lottery or something like that. Something cheesy.
Something. How could that go wrong?
Right.
All right. So the reason you wanted to be on this episode has to do with your current Jane's World story. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Jane's World, I had this scene. So what happens to me when my comic is I write myself into a corner, and then I have to figure out a crazy way to get out of it, right? And so I was reminded of this episode where Willow kind of gets duplicated, right? And there's a good version and a bad version, because there's this, tear in time and space, right? So I basically had that happen in Jane's World, and nice Jane ends up with evil Willow in this alternative reality. And then the other main character, Shell, is basically Furiosa. You know, she's got one fake metal arm.
Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes. So I was basically blending all my favorite female characters.
It's a genre matchup, which
yes.
is very appropriate for Buffy fans, I think.
Yeah.
Fans of Buffy would, I think, really dig this arc in particular of Jane's World.
Yeah, if it's like for people who aren't Buffy fans, I didn't really spell it out, but I think people who like Buffy got all the inside jokes about evil. There was all these references to Evil Willow and how, you know.
Yeah, it was your character Dorothy who became evil.
Yes, Dorothy, who's really sweet and owns a coffee shop, becomes, this evil dominatrix in a leather outfit.
I recommend this comic. I think people will enjoy it. You should go to gocomics.com/Jane's World. Speaking of that, where else can people find you and your work?
Well, my website is PB9, like Paige Braddock, initials, PB9.com. And that has links to kind of everything, sketches and blog and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff.
That's the central hub.
That's the hub. That's
all
the
right.
Jane hub. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Will you come back for another episode, for a future episode?
I would love to. There's actually one episode coming up that I really am hoping you will ask me to be here for. And I won't give any spoilers.
All right. And maybe next time you can be on for the full episode instead of just an interview.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was like bad time coordination on my part. I have to fly to the metropolis of Houston, so.
The great city of Houston.
Yes.
All right. Any parting words?
I think my favorite evil Willow line will do for a parting word. Bored now.
I want to thank Paige for recording that, and we're going to have her back on for a future episode or two. All right, now we move on to questions.
Well, Dennis, I loved the question that you asked Paige in that interview about what would you wish for and how would it turn against you is like an awesome question. So did you have an answer for, how your world that you'd wish for would be inverted?
Yeah, I was thinking about it like, well, work is the like life equivalent of high school. So it'd be like this new person at in work, like trying to prompt me to wish for something. So it would probably be something work related where I was like, oh, I wish our approval system was just better. And then she'd turn around and be like, granted. And then like the approval system would be so good that we all get plugged into it and we just like become like cyborgs and we lose our soul to like approving product.
Whoa. You went real Black Mirror with that shit. That's the
Who else has answers for, let's say you meet an Anya.
I mean, I think not now, but in my life in the past, there's been a million like crushes I would have wished for that would have turned out badly. And Dennis, you probably know a little bit what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think most of the crushes in my life that I like would have wished for are all now I realize would have been horrible alternate universes.
But you could get out of those. Now this would be one where you like are trapped in the relationship.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I'm also really bad at breaking up with people if I need to. So like, I think I would be stuck in those relationships for way longer than necessary.
Yeah. You're getting tattoos with their name on it. And you're like,
yeah. On my forehead.
Yeah. People, what does this number mean?
Is that a 7 of 9 joke?
It would become a reference. Later, people would think it was a reference, but it wasn't.
Yeah, really. Get ahead of that curve, man.
Okay,
Travis.
sorry. That's enough for an audience of no one.
Yeah, I don't think our audience no one in our audience knows what you're talking about.
I don't even know what he's talking about, audience. I'm with you too. I guess my question is it better to wish for something crazy big or like crazy small? Like, do you want your wish to be as specific as possible, or should it be as broad as possible? What do you think would have worse ramifications?
I mean, for me, it's like, what's the wish that you would have wished for most recently, and how would it have gone?
And it would be it'd have to be like a wish you didn't think, oh, I really wish this is true. You'd just be like, it'd be great if this happened or something like that. Like, or maybe not. I don't know.
So for mine, I would wish like for the grass to grow in my backyard because I seeded it for a yard recently. And this is a stupid homeowner thing. And obviously in my, alternate reality, the grass would have grown already, but of course it would never stop growing. And then I would be plagued with either having to constantly work the field in order to, like take the grass back down. I can't imagine what other things would go wrong with that scenario. Just the grass doesn't stop growing.
The grass,
wildlife
it becomes
live
like
in the
tendrils
dark.
and whips you and stuff. And you're like, I'm slave to my grass.
Yeah, the grass starts growing into the house and grabbing me. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it becomes like a creep show.
It's like a Little Shop of Horrors 2 or 3. It's like grass, yeah. I don't know. It's too personal. Next question.
Mike, do you want to explain what a mascara episode is?
Oh, sure.
What does that mean?
This is a variation on the same idea. It's basically like this episode is the episode where everybody wears mascara and becomes evil. Like Buffy even has mascara on, and it's like I've worn mascara when I'm like a goth, and like it's very easy, like costume wise, to become the evil version of yourself. And so, like, what evil stuff are you up to when you put on mascara? If you can answer that again without being too personal.
Does someone want to go first?
And maybe it's a tough one because, like,
It is a tough one.
Yeah.
because, like, oh yeah, I just do general evil stuff.
I'm pretty good at evil. Sorry.
I like how Dennis just lives in a house full of like masks.
Maybe this is an easier question to answer about someone else than about yourself.
Okay, so what? So maybe what would I do when I put my evil mascara mask on? Do
What would evil Mike do?
Become a lawyer.
Yeah,
Mike's a lawyer.
evil Mike is a lawyer. Yeah, I think that's true.
evil Travis buys the apartment complex he's in and has everyone evicted. Shaking his head.
Maybe the better question is what's a fun episode of television where they have the evil episode, like there's an evil characters, right? Like what's your favorite mascara episode of a different television series? That's cool.
The mirror universe in Star Trek is great, and they go really good places with it in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I really like Evil Kira a lot.
With her sexy pants.
She's real. I mean, evil versions of characters is a thing that I like.
Yeah.
Evil Willow, Evil Kira. Yeah, that works. That'll do.
All right. Yeah, I agree with John there.
Would you want to watch more episodes of this? Like, if Buffy was the way it was up until this episode, and for some reason they were able to keep making it in this weird evil timeline, would you think that's a better? Or
I mean, it'd be hard to be as emotionally invested in a show where everybody is dead.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like that's a thing also like a more modern show would do, where they would actually spend like a full season or like a half season in the alt world. And I'm happy for it to be a one-off. Like,
yeah, me too. I don't think I really want to watch Evil Willow for much longer than this, really. But
well,
yeah, I still have a question later where it's like, who's your favorite Willow? Is it real life? Is it the original Willow or alternate universe Willow or Xander or blah 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 blah? Like, I actually kind of really enjoy Evil Willow because she's such a pushover in like the real quote the normal Buffy storyline. Like Evil Willow to me is great. She's no pushover. Like I actually prefer Evil Willow, like to a large degree, to the Good Willow.
yeah, we actually talk about Evil Willow
right.
a good amount with the Paige interview, which you guys just listened to.
Well, I'm just saying what I like. I'm just
Yeah.
not. I'm not Paige. So, anyways. Oh well.
Let's see. I already asked that question. Travis, you say Anya seems like a real, seems really like a normal girl/demon.
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she knows how the world works, and I don't know. She seems like pretty put together, and that's all I'm saying, I guess. Like she doesn't seem confused about things. Like she knows, like, yeah, Harmony's a vapid person, and this person did you wrong. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like that person is like moving through society and knows exactly what's going on, and is not confused by any societal customs.
Well, we've only seen her in high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, she blends in really well. Like, I had no idea she was going to turn into a monster. It's a good surprise.
Yeah. Cool. You ask, where's Darla?
Yeah, you have to explain where you think she is from.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other theories? Or
I like your theory a lot. I think it makes sense.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Travis, you say, who from the Buffy group has had their blood drank by a vampire?
Because didn't Buffy get drank by the Master, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We got Cordelia in this episode. Or no, yeah, Cordelia in this episode. Am I missing people so far? Anyone else?
I mean, I guess presumably Xander and Willow at some point.
At some point. We never saw it on screen, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's almost everyone except Giles and Oz. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ask, who is tougher, alt Buffy or regular Buffy?
Obviously, regular Buffy doesn't die every episode. So Buffy has died in one episode out of however many, and alt Buffy has died in 1 out of 1. So alt Buffy dies 100% of the time from this sample set.
Wow.
Alt Buffy at this time has a scar on her face and is not doing so well.
Yeah. I agree, actually. I was going to go into thing of like we're led to believe alt Buffy is tougher, but like the whole thing is really that she's not. That like she dies at the Master's hands permanently versus like the Buffy who survives her death at the Master's hands. And that really she, like, as hardcore as Cleveland is, she hasn't faced the shit she would face in Sunnydale.
Right.
But she's faced it alone, and that's what's made her.
Do you think, here's a question. Do you think Joyce is still alive? Because I think would alt Buffy have the attitude that she has if she still had a mother? I feel like the thing about I think Joyce died. I think that's what happened.
I think she might have just been a teen runaway. Joyce is still alive and saved.
Okay, but she doesn't have Joyce in her life. I feel like that's possible. Yeah, that she's still alive.
This reminds me of a question I forgot to write, which is like, how quickly does Buffy get from Cleveland to Sunnydale? Because there's this big thing of like, the Watcher doesn't really contact her anymore and stuff. But then like the next morning or the next night, she's just there. So,
I mean, it's like a 7-hour flight, right? It's like,
yeah, I guess it's not that weird if there was a day switch. So yeah, never mind. Not that weird. All right. I want to go into themes and deep stuff. All right, John, you're the first one.
Okay. So I want to talk about the scope of the Buffyverse, because one of the things that upon this particular watching of Buffy that is striking me is the degree to which any of this is regional versus worldwide. Like, on what level is the stuff that happens in Sunnydale? And I feel like the Wishverse kind of lets us know that the stuff that happens in Sunnydale it's big, but it's not the biggest time, right? So, like, when Alt Universe Giles calls up Cleveland and is like cussing out the Watcher in Cleveland, first of all, he uses the indefinite article to refer to the Hellmouth. He's like, we have a Hellmouth, which suggests that there's more than one Hellmouth, right? Okay. That they didn't automatically send the Slayer to the Hellmouth, which I guess we kind of already knew that, because other Slayers didn't necessarily all live in Sunnydale, right? He refers to the Master as like the vampire overlord in this area, right? So like the vampires, the Master's like this badass vampire, but only around here.
But if he had opened the Hellmouth, that would have been the whole world.
Right, but that leads me to believe that there are always impending apocalypses
suddenly
happening
I find myself
in lots of places.
To know the plural for apocalypse.
Exactly. I think that the deal is, yes, there's only one Slayer, and yes, Slayers help keep vampires at bay, but only a bit.
Yeah,
because
obviously, if like there's so many vampires in this world, a Slayer can't like statistically do that much shit. Right?
And so pardon me for skipping to my other thing here, but like I think that the thing I'm learning here is that like the alternate universe is really not that much worse than the regular universe. It's only worse for our characters, right? So like if Buffy was in Cleveland, she's still saving lives. It's just lives she's saving in Cleveland instead of in Sunnydale. Like Sunnydale sucks because she's not there, but presumably there's people living in Cleveland who are way better off because Buffy's there saving lives, right?
Yeah. So you're saying like Cleveland is like in?
I'm saying
place.
yes.
Cleveland is hell right now.
Cleveland is awful because there's nobody there. Nobody's there taking care of shit.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a watcher. She doesn't have the training.
She has a watcher. Giles talks to him on the phone.
He seems like a really checked out watcher.
I will accept that that Buffy is more productive, like she's more effective in the regular universe because she has friends, she has a good watcher, she has a good support system. But that's only marginal. I feel like
I don't know I don't know if I really dig the like let's look objectively at the numbers about deaths and stuff, because that's the kind of reasoning that's like, well, Pearl Harbor needed to happen, or
okay, fascist math, sure,
yeah.
But like, I'm just saying that this, if you look at it from the point of view of our characters, obviously the regular universe is better, right? But there's probably a point of view out there somewhere that would favor the Wish universe.
Maybe
and also it's not like in the
Sunnydale
regular universe that Sunnydale is a great place to live. Like they practically need the monthly memorials already. There's already kids dying at the high school every other week.
That's true. There's still a lot of deaths.
It's not like Buffy saves everybody. She doesn't.
I mean, that's generally true of all these alternate universes, right? It's like, it's bad for all the characters you follow. It's probably okay for a lot of other people stepped on by those characters.
I don't know.
No.
I think the mirror universe in Star Trek is a lot worse.
The mirror universe in Star Trek is objectively worse.
It's got, especially in DS9, it's got the really large Klingon bird of prey.
Yeah. And like all of humanity is enslaved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds worse. Here, not all of humanity has been enslaved by vampires. Sunnydale sounds like a terrible place. But Cleveland might be better off.
Cleveland's got more people than Sunnydale.
Yeah, exactly. Cleveland has more people than Sunnydale. Exactly.
I say theme, not as much deep stuff, but just a theme throughout the episode. Apes together, stronger, as Caesar would put it from the new Planet of the Apes. Just that every character is stronger with their friendships intact, not alone out there doing it for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. That's the difference between regular Buffy and alternate universe Buffy?
Yeah,
is that she has a support system.
It's important to have support systems. You heard it here from Buffy Virgin.
Do you think that the episode views Cordelia negatively after making the wish? Like, does it pass judgment on her making a wish?
Well, if she wished for a long, healthy life, I hope she got her money back.
That's like
I don't think it judges her negatively. I think this is I think it's this episode is basically It's a Wonderful Life.
That's a throwaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this episode is so on Cordy's side, and then it's like, I don't know, it's just this story is there to fuck with you. It's not there to like pass a moral judgment about Cordy, right?
I wish so badly that Cordelia would remember this episode, because like she totally does have that realization, but she has no memory of her realization. So yeah, I don't think it judges her harshly. I guess she makes a wish. She's a 18-year-old going on 28-year-old, and so she makes a wish. Who knows? She should have known, of course, it was going to have magical side effects in Sunnydale. But yeah, I don't think it judges her harshly, which is nice.
So Trev, you say a big question here.
So we don't have to talk about the alternate universe one, but I think I made my feelings clear. Like, I think I like alternate universe evil. I like evil Willow. I kind of like evil Xander because Xander already is evil. At least make him properly evil. I like alternate universe Oz. He's very cool. Although I like werewolf Oz too. So that one's a toss up for me. Alternate universe Giles is kind of sad. So I'm not like,
Regular Giles is sad though.
Oh man, Miss Calendar. Miss Calendar probably never came. She's probably living her life somewhere.
Or she just got eaten immediately. I mean,
maybe,
we don't know.
She goes in,
Sunnydale.
and she's like, "Wow, Angel's straight up being tortured, so I don't think I have to do
I'm good.
that part of my job. I'm going home."
Yeah. Yeah. So I love alternate Buffy because she's so disillusioned. She's like, what is it? Some sort of come on? Like when she's talking to guys, to Angel and stuff. It's like, that's why I like her in this one, because it's like you can tell that she's not gonna, I don't know what bad things happened in that version of Buffy's life, but like
It makes her spit on her boots.
She's like so insanely cynical. It's totally refreshing and like just doesn't that's why I love that version of Buffy actually in a lot of ways. Because she just totally calls out all that when like the Angel's weird thing with her, like he knows her, she calls out immediately as something totally weird. And I'm like, yes, good job. But I don't know if you guys particularly liked the regular version or alternate version.
Yeah,
of any of these characters.
I like Alt Willow.
Mike, what'd you think?
I mean, I think we've all talked about enjoying Dark Willow because it's such a departure. I don't think any of the other characters are as striking in terms of how different they are. I think Dark Willow's stand out. Everyone else is kind of a weird shade of themselves. Like, I do like the Alt Willow calls out the weirdness with Angel a lot, but I'm not particularly impressed with Alt Buffy. She doesn't seem like she's got her act together. Everything seems like one new crazy thing after another. Like, here we go, another one of these.
Yeah, I like that Alt Buffy, like the big thing in this show is like people strategize and they figure out how to kill a demon and stuff. And she's like, I just stab things. Like,
she's kind of like Lord of the Flies Buffy. Like she is the Buffy you'd get if there was a real life Lord of the Flies and Buffy was in there. She just basically survived. She didn't really have like the culture and the learning or anything of that. It's like she has the power and she has the blade and the stake.
I was kind of wondering how many of Alt Buffy's lines you could have given to Faith and how would they work. I feel like they're very similar.
Yeah, I think, well, Travis, your next question is, should we be worried that Faith is not in this episode? She gets mentioned, but I think the thing with Alt Buffy is she is very Faith, right? Because they're like, we're like, Buffy's like, I'm worried about Faith, that she's alone too much. Slaying is a rough gig. You got to have friends. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is,
you're right. That's the theme of the episode. Absolutely.
Funny.
Keep you grounded. Keeps you better than you would be.
Funny, dumb question. So when Giles talks about why the amulet would be interesting or investigate it, one of the things he says is that, Xander and Willow, or, he's the master sent some of his best men after Cordelia. Can that really be the case? Are Xander and Willow really the best?
Yeah.
I feel like
Giles calls them like their top assassins, right? Something.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Up there on the stage.
That's a bit hard to believe.
I think it's Well, I think it's the thing of like what happens when you become a vampire and like your character gets turned upside down.
So is it true then that like the more of a schmuck you are in real life, that the bigger a badass you'll be as a vampire?
I think it's a small pond.
If you're okay with being a schmuck, but
so Jonathan does not make a good vampire.
Yeah, no, he would be. Here's the thing: is like we know there's nerdy vampires, right? Because there was that vampire in season 2 who is all into the book learning, right?
Right.
But Willow did not become a smart vampire, right?
Right.
Like, I think it's all about like the hostility you feel about your existence. Like,
that's why Jesse made a good vampire. That's why like we're gonna turn this guy.
Yeah, and Jesse basically became what Xander is also.
Right.
Like, they're really like, because they were basically the same character.
Right.
Can only have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what do you think happened to Jesse in the alt universe?
I bet what Mike just said. I bet Xander staked him because they're like, we're the same character. The master only one of us.
Right, there could be only one.
Yeah, Xander staked him while he was in his coffin because he just wanted to, get one up on him and maybe spend more time with Willow.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of there can only be one, has Clancy Brown ever become a vampire in anything? He'd be a great vampire. He's in the first Highlander.
Oh, okay.
He's the main villain. He's a great actor. I don't know if he's ever been a vampire though. Anyway, that was an off-topic thing. That's it for themes and deep stuff. Why don't we move to I think, yeah, why don't we move to the part of this episode I'm really excited about, which
Me too.
is predictions.
Yay,
'Cause
predictions.
we talked about predictions last week, but we didn't officially do anything. John,
Right. So we have some stuff to go through.
Great.
Why don't you take control now? And
All right. So, Mike, you are currently at a 68.5, which we would round off to a 69, dude. All right. So we're going to talk about, because we did miss last episode doing predictions officially, we're going to talk about the last episode, Lover's Walk, first. Okay?
Yeah.
So in season 2, episode 15, Mike predicted, let's just say Oz's werewolf powers are going to come in handy. Now that would be confirmed, except that it's already confirmed. It was confirmed in season 3, episode 4 in Beauty and the Beasts. So we already confirmed that one.
See, that's why we need you. I was excited about that confirmation.
We have another prediction where Mike, in the same episode, Mike predicted that Oz is going to save Willow as a werewolf. Now, in Lover's Walk, he saves Willow with werewolf powers, but he is not transformed.
I say no.
So I say no too. We're going to leave that one open, but that's a close call, right?
And Travis is off right now. The one person might defend.
Now, season 2, episode 17, Mike predicts we will see the magic shop with the gypsy again in season 3. So is this the same magic shop that we see in Lover's Walk? It's the same magic shop.
Yeah. The interior's a little different. It's expanded, but it's the same shop.
Now, Mike's, again, and, you know, there's been an accusation in the last episode, Dennis, that you and I are sort of like a monkey's paw, that we're going to find a way to turn it on him. We will see the letter of the law here says we will see the magic shop with the gypsy.
The gypsy died that episode.
Exactly. I kind of feel like I want to give this to Mike.
Yes.
Because it's the magic shop that is with the gypsy.
This magic shop is like a recurring place. You know,
right. It is the magic shop that is with the gypsy, not necessarily that we will see the gypsy again. That's how I'm reading that. Can we give him that one, do you think, Dennis? I'm going to give him that one. Okay. All right.
It's important to establish that the magic shop is like now a place that could recur.
Okay. So that's confirmed. Let's see. Okay, Mike predicted Spike is going to come back to Buffy's house again. It's going to be a thing, he said, since he's been invited. That is definitely confirmed. That definitely happened in Lover's Walk. This one I think is interesting, and this one's probably we could leave it open, but I kind of want to give this one to Mike. Mike predicted in season 2, episode 22, that Drusilla isn't going to forgive Spike for preventing her from destroying the world with Angel. So she may forgive him later, but I feel like the fact that they're broken up when we see them in Lover's Walk, I kind of want to give that one to Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But then we got to maybe open up a new prediction about it or something.
Okay. All right. Okay. Moving on. Season 3, episode 6. Mike predicted that the Oz-Willow relationship will break up in season 3. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's confirmed. They do break up in season 3. Anybody want to object? This is not a real breakup.
No. Well, clearly, given the episode we just saw, they're broken up. So.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Okay. So those are the ones from Lover's Walk. Those are all confirmations. So after Lover's Walk, Mike went from a 69 to a 70.6, which would round off to a 71.
Wow, there must be so many outstanding predictions to only go up 1.5%. Wow.
Yes, it's true. There are a lot of outstanding predictions.
Can't help it. Show demands predictions.
So let's talk. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot the most important one from Lovers. Mike predicted no funerals. So Mike predicted. I just want to point this out.
Joke funeral too.
So that in season 1, episode 3, Mike predicted that there will be no funerals in season 1. He got that one. That one was confirmed. There were no funerals in season 1. In the very next episode, Mike predicted that there will be no funerals ever. That is not true. There was a funeral, although I really feel bad about denying this one.
No, this is great. This is the nature of the show. This is like this show put in a joke funeral just to fuck with Mike.
I think so. Because the spirit of his prediction that we will not mourn the death of characters in this, like in the way that would seem to be requisite. Right. That the spirit of it is there, but technically, since he said, and the prediction says only no funerals. It's a 2-word prediction. So that is denied.
Well, they didn't have a funeral for Jesse, right?
So taking that into account, that brings Mike Deck down to a 69.4.
Here's a question for you.
69. He's back to 69. Sorry, what, Mike?
Here's a question for you then. If there's no funeral, who was the funeral for?
Doesn't matter.
We think it was the magic shop owner. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. It could have been, yeah.
Anyway, just a question for you, prediction deniers.
Well, what is your point? That it wasn't a funeral? That they were burying an empty casket for fun? What's your point?
It's like it's more like a background. It's like we didn't attend a funeral. It's just in the background. Like
we argued about this.
No, yeah. If you had predicted no foreground funerals, you'd be
because it was
obviously in the clear.
No, because this funeral we don't know it's for anything, but it is in the foreground. It pulls to a background shot, but it starts as.
Did John award Mike a point for the relationship ending between Buffy and Angel and Willow and Xander on the same episode? You didn't know.
Oh no, well that's in your dreams. No,
it's my alternate reality. I'm on your side, Mike.
Thanks for bringing that up.
They didn't happen in the same episode. They were not because and the real reason why is because Mike said they will be revealed, and the word revealed definitely implies revealed to the audience.
It doesn't. If you're talking about, are you saying Angel Buffy or?
Yeah, and Lovers.
I wasn't predicting Angel Buffy. I was predicting Willow, Oz, and
okay. Yeah.
And Cordelia Xander.
Willow / Xander and Buffy / Angel will be revealed in the same episode.
Oh yeah,
that definitely did not happen.
I was also predicting like that Buffy's lie would get revealed around the same time too.
It was one episode. Really. All right, move on. Sorry.
All right. So now we're going to talk about predictions that were handled in season 3, episode 9, The Wish. So Mike predicted, I think astutely, that the Buffy gang will visit a bizarro universe. So that is...
I'm so excited that happened.
Clearly confirmed. Not only that, but like Cordelia calls it bizarro. Like she uses the word bizarro. So I feel like I almost want to give Mike an extra point for that, but that's just not how this works.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to hear that they went to a bizarro universe. I was scared that they were going to stay there.
So let's see. We also have this one is interesting, and it's not one I can confirm or deny. Mike predicted in season 2, episode 15, that Larry was going to get murdered, and I had to go back and watch it to make sure that he didn't. But Larry does not get murdered.
He really should, but he doesn't. I did the same thing because I remembered that prediction. Because the last we see is him and Oz murdering Willow. We don't see him die. So close, buddy. Close.
Yeah, that one's close, but that one stays open. Let's see. There's another one here. Oh, okay. Okay, no, and there's only one left is my very favorite prediction that you've ever made, Mike. I'm so excited that you made this prediction.
Uh-oh.
I'm so happy you made this. Mike predicted in season 2, episode 20, and I quote, "There will be no Willow dominatrix scenes." It's such a specific prediction, and it's so wrong.
Why did this even get predicted? I can't even remember.
It got predicted because she interrogated Jonathan about peeing in the pool. Yeah. But it's so specific. Like that is not a dominatrix scene, but Mike randomly extrapolates from that. There will be no Willow dominatrix scenes, which is so specific.
It was because the show was showing this different side of her character, taking pleasure in the pain of someone else. And she was saying, "Oh, I'm good at this." But My thought was that this is clearly a joke. The show is not going to turn her into a dominatrix.
And I honestly think this is one of those things. Maybe John or I led you into this because we were like, "That's really interesting." They're bringing up Willow being a dominatrix this early on, right?
Yeah, I know you'd have to re-listen. I bet.
Anyway, I'm extremely pleased. When you predicted that, Mike, I could not hold my shit. I really tried to keep a straight face. I think I did a pretty good job. There will be no Willow dominatrix scenes. Yeah. It's almost like the writers of the show traveled through time and wanted to fuck with you.
It does feel like that a little bit with the whole scene with Angel, the completely unnecessary torture of angels that are only there to fuck with this prediction. Yes.
Yeah. I just want to watch you.
I'm so happy. Anyway, that's predictions. I'm sorry. Your current, you are now at a 68.85. So you're right back at 69 where you started.
Well, great.
What a journey we went through.
Yeah, just like the Wish. Just reset, factory reset.
So it's a D+. You're at a D+.
All right. Want to move to kill counts?
Oh, I can't make more predictions?
Oh, sorry. Jeez. Yeah. No.
Yeah, new predictions. Yeah, do it.
Okay, no more Wish monsters. This is the last one of these.
Okay, no more Wish monsters.
Can you be like a little more specific?
Oh, sorry.
Like, will you see a Wish monster, but they won't go through with it? Will you?
Okay.
Another Wish episode?
You're right. It's such a popular thing. I should change that one. Thank you, Travis, because wish fulfillment is such a popular theme for this show. So I do need to be more specific. There will be no more visits to this Bizarro universe. This is the first and last and only Bizarro universe episode.
This specific Bizarro, there could be a different Bizarro universe, but this one.
No, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They will not visit another, like a Bizarro Buffy universe.
Okay. Is this different from your first prediction, the Wish Monster prediction?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not going to be any other wish monsters. And a wish monster is defined as a monster that grants you the wish that you didn't know you were making.
Okay.
I mean, there will be people that like, man, I wish I could do this. Like, well, let's figure this out. I mean, like I wish I was a little bit taller.
A vengeance demon or a trickster demon that sets you up for a terrible wish world.
But I mean, I don't know.
No
if that's
more
a good...
monsters. So here's what I've got. I've got no more visits.
You're gonna lose that one.
No more visits to a Bizarro universe.
You know what? Let me be specific. No more Anya. Okay.
Okay.
No more Anya monster, whatever that one is, because wish fulfillment is too popular in horror for it not to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like, oh, Xander wishes that the girls liked him. Oh, I'll do a love potion. That's wish fulfillment, right?
Okay. So wait, I've got right now. I have 3 predictions, and I'm going to read them to you and tell me if you're okay with them or if you want to reword them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've got no more visits to a Bizarro universe.
No more visits to this Bizarro universe. This is let me be specific.
Okay.
To this Bizarro universe with Dark Willow and the Master running the bronze. This was we're not going back there.
Okay. So I'm going to write it here is no more visits to the Bizarro universe from the Wish.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And then I've got no more monsters who grant wishes you didn't know you were making.
Yes.
Okay. And then I have no more Anya.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Angel will be tortured again.
Seems reasonable.
not by Willow.
Okay.
While the characters will not make a reference to this episode happening, the show will make a reference to this episode happening.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, they're going to make an unknowing reference to it that will be for us as an audience, but not for the characters.
I get that, yeah.
Like, I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it's Willow looking at a Dom outfit and being like, not really my style, but maybe it is.
Okay. Got it.
No more Master episodes. The Master is not coming back ever again. This was a fun one-off to have the Master back. That's it. No more Master. I would have predicted no more Master after they destroyed his bones, but clearly I'm glad I didn't.
Okay.
Make a prediction involving Faith.
Faith wasn't in this episode.
That's my point. It's the most it's the one you want to make the most prediction about. It's the one you know the least about.
I want to predict about the Cthulhu-looking demon in the beginning. That Cthulhu demon is sadly a one-off. We're not getting that guy back. There are no more Cthulhu demons that look like that one from The Wish.
That specific Cthulhu demon.
That specific Cthulhu demon not coming back.
Okay.
And then I should make one about Faith at Travis's request here.
It doesn't have to be a forever thing. It can be a thing that you might see get fulfilled in 2 episodes. Doesn't have to be a never come back.
Well, I don't know what's up with Faith. I mean, she's just been doing her own thing. So it's hard to predict what she'll do.
Okay. It makes it an exciting prediction.
Oh, so I gotta think about it.
Okay.
I don't have anything on Faith right now. Okay.
All right. Think of something.
Nothing you can take on Faith.
Faith is going to have some wild story for where she's been, where we haven't seen her. And it could be like, oh man, I've been out doing this guy, fighting this dude. I mean, just she'll have a funny story for where she's been. But she will tell a story. People are going to ask, where have you been? That's all. That's a very specific and strange. Next time we see Faith, we got to know, hey, where have you been? It's been long enough.
Okay.
All right. That's all my predictions, unless John wants to do the dice roll, but otherwise, I think.
No, we don't need to do that anymore.
Cool.
Faith will give a wild story to explain where she has been in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You can approve that wording? Okay. And the Cthulhu demon from The Wish will not reappear.
Yes.
You approve that wording.
Uh-huh. And do I have any outstanding predictions about Spike? Because I feel like I should make a new one now that because I know he's going to come back again this season.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you should make predictions from last episode, right?
I have the ones that you made in the podcast already written down here.
Oh,
I have
awesome.
Oz's powers of smell will come in handy again. You said that, yes?
Yep.
Yeah, we should get your approval on the wording here since we're going to hold your feet to the fire on it. Xander and Cordelia will not get back together in a romantic Xander and Cordelia will not get back together in a romantic relationship except in a dream/fantasy.
Or magic. I should say or magic.
Hold on a second. I need to read it carefully. Xander and Cordelia will not get back together in a romantic relationship except in a dream/fantasy/drug/nightmare on Elm Street situation. That's what you said in the podcast.
Thank you.
You happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. Spike will not get back together with Drusilla.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are all the ones from season 8 or from episode 8 of season 3.
Cool. Spike is going to return in season 3 without Drusilla.
Okay. And we're going to count that as a one that you predicted in episode 8.
Okay.
So Spike will not get back together with Drusilla. Yes, I have that one.
Mm-hmm. But he's going to return again to season 3.
Oh, Spike will return in season 3.
Yeah. He's going to come back. And he's going to be helpful because I've already seen the mayor doesn't like him.
Wait, is that a separate one?
Okay, it's 2. Spike will return.
Okay.
It's going to be good Spike on Buffy and the gang side.
Ooh.
In season 3.
In season 3.
Spike will help me out.
Assist Buffy.
Okay.
On a mission of some kind, fighting whatever forces are out there. He already owes her and gave her nothing for helping out with that last fight.
Spike will assist Buffy on a mission of some kind.
Yeah, and not just it may be self-serving to Spike. It may be that their mutual interests collide, but
right. I'm not adding any words there. Spike will assist Buffy on a mission of some kind.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He hasn't joined the side of the angels.
Spike will return in season 3. Spike will assist Buffy on a mission of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good.
And Angel's going to start a detective agency in Los Angeles.
Dennis is right. We need to come up with a policy about how we're going to handle predictions that, may or may not be addressed in Buffy, but are addressed in Angel, or for that matter, in the comics.
Gosh, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, the easy solution to this is we just do podcasts about all of those things.
Yeah, just do all of them. Done.
Fly off into the night.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
Kills.
Okay, kills. I counted 15 dead humans this episode, and so I was counting humans that either died on screen or whose bodies we saw, but I wasn't counting like the fact that like probably a third of the population has been wiped out because I couldn't do the math on that because I don't know those numbers. So it's 15 dead humans, 11 dead vampires, and 1 dead demon. So maybe our highest kill count ever. It was certainly a lot, especially most of those were in the last like 3 minutes of show. All right. We want to move on to recommendations. All right. I recommend The Last Man on Earth, the Vincent Price movie.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be like the life that everybody in Sunnydale is basically living, is doing what you can during the day to get ready for night. I also recommend the 1972 British Tales from the Crypt, because that's got a it's not a monkey's paw. I think it's like a Chinese something or other, but it's got a wish story. And then so here's the thing: is I like the Wishmaster seems like an obvious thing, but I've never actually watched all of one of the Wishmasters. I know there's like 3 of them, but that's just not a series I've gotten into, so I can't really recommend it. But we said Daybreakers. Another how vampires live in a world where they're out and they can just like eat shit.
Yeah. It's not a great movie, but it is really fun.
It's got Sam Neill.
Evil Sam. Any movie with Evil Sam Neill is automatically good.
That is true.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen The Possession or what is it, Omen 3.
Oh, I was thinking of
Event
Horizon.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon or In the Mouth of Madness. Those are both
great. Look at all
great.
this good evil Sam
But
Neill.
evil Sam Neill.
I guess he turns out to be evil in Mouth of Madness or whatever.
Yeah, it's more of a, he turns out to be in the end, but he gets real evil in Event Horizon, and Event Horizon is awesome.
Yeah. Event Horizon is a movie that we all watched in high school.
And it's scary. Event Horizon, like there's a very short list of movies that like legitimately frightened me, like gave me the emotional experience of fear. And Event Horizon and In the Mouth of Madness are both on that list.
What is it about Event Horizon that works so well? I'm just curious.
It's the sound design, and there's also the like you get this like video clip that is like a staticky 6 seconds of hell, and you see just enough, and it works really well. It probably wouldn't work on me now, but it worked really well on me when I was like 18. But also the sound design is really, really good.
All right, got him.
All right, cool. All right. That's it. That is it for this episode. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to thank Paige. You can see her comics at, I think it's paigebraddock.wordpress, and you can see gocomics.com/JanesWorld. You can follow Buffy on Twitter at BuffyVirginPod. You can visit our website, buffyvirgin.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram at BuffyVirgin. You can follow me at Twitter at Dennis Comics. My website is Dennis Comics. And you can buy my comic on Amazon, The Land of Many Monsters, and many more monster tales. Does anyone else have anything to promote?
No.
All right, so that's it. We'll see you for our Christmas episode next week.
Woo!